This section reviews cloud security concepts that are highlighted in the AWS Well-Architected Framework. The AWS Academy Cloud Foundations course introduced the AWS Well-Architected Framework. The framework is available on the AWS website, and you can find the link on the Content Resources page in your online course. You might find it helpful to open the website now to look at the way that the pillars are organized. This module focuses on using the best practices from the security pillar to secure your data analytics and ML workloads by using the corresponding AWS well-architected lenses. Security and compliance are shared responsibilities between AWS and customers. AWS secures the hardware, software, facilities, and networks that run all AWS products and services. You are responsible for what you implement by using AWS products and services and the applications that you connect to AWS. The security steps that you must take will depend on the services that you use and the complexity of your system. In the cloud, you can apply a number of principles to help you strengthen your data security. Let's take a look at some of those principles. First, implement a strong identity foundation. Implement the principle of least privilege. Enforce separation of duties. Centralize identity management. And aim to eliminate reliance on long-term, static credentials. Next, enable traceability. Monitor, alert, and audit actions and changes to your environment in real time. Integrate log and metrics collection with systems to automatically investigate and take action. Next, apply security at all layers. Apply a defense-in-depth approach with multiple security controls and apply it to all layers of your infrastructure. Next, automate security best practices. Automated software-based security mechanisms can improve your ability to securely scale more rapidly and cost-effectively. Create secure architectures, which includes implementing controls that are defined and managed as code in version-controlled templates. Protect data in transit and at rest. Classify your data into sensitivity levels and use mechanisms such as encryption, tokenization, and access control where appropriate. Next, keep people away from data. Use mechanisms and tools to reduce or eliminate the need for direct access or manual processing of data. This reduces the risk of mishandling or modification and human error when handling sensitive data. And finally, prepare for security events. Prepare for an incident by having incident management and investigation policies and processes that align to your organizational requirements. Run incident response simulations and use tools with automation to increase your speed for detection, investigation, and recovery. The security of your data pipeline relies on your control of who and what can access your services and resources, and determining what they are able to do with that access. These control measures are commonly referred to as authentication and authorization, and both of these measures are guided by the principle of least privilege. Identity and Access Management, or IAM, is a web service that helps you to securely control access to AWS resources. Use IAM to control who is authenticated and authorized to use these resources. IAM is integrated into most AWS services, and you can implement IAM to effectively control access to the services that make up your data analytics or ML pipeline. You can define access controls from one place in the AWS Management Console, and they will take effect throughout your AWS environment. IAM also supports multi-factor authentication, or MFA. If MFA is activated and an IAM user attempts to log in, then the user is prompted for an authentication code. The authentication code is delivered to a specifically configured AWS MFA hardware device or to a software-based device, such as Google's Authenticator application. When used in conjunction with AWS CloudTrail, IAM can also support information assurance by providing log records that include the identity information of users that request resources in your account. The term data at rest describes any data that you persist in non-volatile storage for any duration in your workload. The term typically refers to data that is currently being stored and not accessed. Data in transit describes data that is being sent from one system or service to another. Protect both forms of data in accordance with their assigned sensitivity levels by using protective mechanisms such as encryption and access control. You can enforce encryption of data at rest in AWS by setting default encryption in services such as Amazon S3 and Amazon EC2. To protect data in transit, enforce encryption in transit. AWS services provide HTTPS endpoints that use TLS for communication to provide encryption in transit when communicating with the AWS API. AWS Key Management Service, or AWS KMS, is a managed service that provides the ability to centrally manage and securely store the keys that are used to encrypt your data. You can create data keys with unique aliases and descriptions for better management. Automatically rotate your keys on a scheduled basis, and disable or delete keys so that no one can use them. You can also import your own keys instead of using AWS-generated keys. You can use the keys within your applications and supported AWS cloud services to protect your data, and the keys never leave AWS KMS, reducing the risk of your data key being compromised. Logging is the collection and recording of activity and event data. The type of information logged will vary based on the service that conducts the logging, but some elements are commonly logged, such as the date and time of an event, the originating location of request, and the identity of resources accessed. Monitoring is the practice of continuously verifying the security and performances of your resources and data. One AWS service that you can use to monitor your AWS resources is Amazon CloudWatch, which will be covered in this module. The CloudTrail service helps you enable governance and compliance, as well as operational and risk auditing of your AWS account. Actions taken by a user, role, or AWS service are recorded as events in CloudTrail. These events can be used to audit and troubleshoot issues that might arise within your data pipeline and can alert you to possible inconsistencies and unauthorized access or actions. CloudWatch is a monitoring and observability service built for DevOps engineers, developers, site reliability engineers, IT managers, and product owners. CloudWatch collects monitoring and operational data as logs, metrics, and events. You can use CloudWatch to detect anomalous behavior, set alarms, visualize logs and metrics side by side, take automated actions, troubleshoot issues, and discover insights to keep your applications running smoothly. Here are a few key points to summarize this section. Access management consists of authentication and authorization. Adhere to the principle of least privilege with both. IAM integrates with most AWS services and helps you securely share and control individual and group access to your AWS resources. A key aspect of a data security plan is to secure data at rest and data in transit. Logging and monitoring can assist your organization to maintain compliance with local laws and regulations.